This particular site is called the Helvetia Ruins. It's one of the mysteries of Mpumalanga. Spread all around us on the tops of the mountains are massive structures of dry walling that were built approximately 2,500 years ago by indigenous people who possibly, we believe, built these structures to actually protect their cattle from predators and so on. Now, the mystery of this style of building is, first of all, the numbers of these structures that actually exist in Mpumalanga. Stretched over the mountaintops right through over a very vast distance are incredible ancient villages that actually exist on the top of these mountains. To date, very little study has been done to ascertain who the people actually were. But one thing is that these were definitely indigenous people, African people, that actually built these structures, but with some outside influence. The area itself is called the Makumati, and if you go through history you will find that there are people who in actual fact called this area the Makumati because it was a gold bearing area where people in ancient times would come and actually search for gold in this particular place. The structures that surround us at this time are much bigger, approximately 15 times bigger than the Zimbabwe ruins. And the amazing thing is that the style of building is in some way depicts Africa in another form and another type of fashion. But if you go back into history and you try to understand the reasons why people would build in this particular style, it comes down to a very small and a common denominator, and that is the lack of what we call indigenous building materials, the lack of wood, and of course the lack of thatching. And on these bare mountaintops, the grass does not grow long enough for people to actually use it to thatch huts and so on. So they would have used the building materials that were available, which are these millions and millions of flat stones. Now this particular one is one of the more unique sites, and we also believe that because of the other structures that exist lower down on the plateau, that this one could have been of greater significance than the others, and possibly even to the significance of being used as an initiation site for these ancient people. At this point in time, because of the very little archaeological evidence that has been ascertained concerning these sites, it is possibly of Ndwandwe and Ndwane. It could possibly have been of Bokoni, it could have been Pedi. There's very many different language groups that could have possibly built this particular site. Until such time as archaeological evidence is in actual fact ascertained, it will be very difficult to actually place who actually built these sites. But for visitors who come here, it's absolutely amazing to see something so almost Zimbabwean in style and structure in the middle of the province of Mpumalanga. As we take a short tour through this particular site, we'll point out some of the more awe-inspiring aspects of this site. But this particular one is the Helvetia Ruins and forms a very intricate part of the Highveld Heritage route, which visitors can in actual fact come to. If one takes a look at the building style of this dry walling, the most amazing thing is, out of a structure with approximately 300,000 flat stones that have been used, suddenly we come across one stone which is round. Now obviously this has got some significance to these ancient people. So what this is, again, it's a mystery. We can't understand the reasons why. This is probably a site of great significance related back to these ancient people. The height of the walls, which is more than 2.5 meters high, also shows that it was probably used as a defensive structure. And in terms of the people, would probably not a warlike people, would have in actual fact probably looked for shelter on the inside if they had been under attack. We do understand though that this particular grouping of people in this area, their end probably came during the Mfekani, which was when Shaka Zulu's impis marauded through the southern portions of Africa. We believe that this could possibly have brought these people who lived in this particular area to an end. What we do believe though is that these round stone-packed circles, the dry walling, in actual fact, has got and donates quite clearly the use of dry walling as giant cattle kraals in which the indigenous people would have kept their cattle, and inside the actual structure you will find circles of dry walling which possibly donates the building of some type of structures where people would have in actual fact actually lived. The most exciting thing about this particular site is that people coming to South Africa do not realize how rich the heritage actually is, specifically in Mpumalanga, and how diverse the heritage is. Tours that come to this particular site are usually the types of people that are interested in the deep heritage of Southern Africa, specifically the province of Mpumalanga. This particular stone-packed circle is one of the most amazing. It is almost alien in the manner in which it has been built. The thing which many people cannot seem to understand is the reasons why the walls are so very, very, very low. We believe that this is more a symbolic circle than what it was built for any other reason. The most amazing thing about this particular one is in actual fact the door opening, which is just off to my right hand side. It is so small that you would have in actual fact had to turn sideways to in actual fact exit the particular building. This particular stone circle is built in such a fashion that people actually doubt the authenticity of the Africanness about the particular stone circle. But we believe that this is possibly the end of an initiation cycle where initiates would have in actual fact been brought at the end of the initiation to celebrate in this particular circle, and then from here onwards would have in actual fact moved on to other symbolic happenings and occurrences that they would have been subjected to. The most amazing thing right throughout the entire world, in England and in many other places, even into the continent of Australia, you will find every continent has features very similar to these type of stone circles. The symbolism of these circles, the actual meaning of these circles, and the use of these circles is unfortunately lost in time. It is a mystery which many people do not understand fully, and until such time as a full study is done, the people who visit here at the end of the time actually make up their own decisions based on the information which was given to them. The most exciting thing about visiting these particular stone circles is in actual fact getting to grips with a portion of heritage and history of South Africa that has not actually been available to the general tourist. It is an off the beaten track type of experience, but the people who come here leave with an understanding that Africa's roots are so much deeper and so much more exciting than what has ever been revealed in the past. We as the tourism industry believe that this has greater symbolism than of many of the ancient ruins that exist in Africa. And until such time as this particular site plus the other sites that are spread over hundreds of kilometers throughout this entire area are opened up, and the true understanding of this is that this will remain a mystery. And that is the reason why visitors come here, is the mystery behind the stone-packed circles on the hills of the province of Mpumalanga in South Africa.